What's going on, YouTube? We back with another YouTube video, and today we're gonna be talking about designing, right? How to design, what designs would go crazy, how to create designs that will sell out, all these things, right? So there's lots of things to talk about, right? But before we even get into that, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that are subscribing, liking the videos, commenting, all of that stuff, engaging with me, finding my stuff entertaining. Truly, I wouldn't be in the position without you guys today, and obviously I wouldn't be in this position without God. So I've seen some of you guys' comments and how you guys were inspired by the little verse of the day that I did in the beginning of the last video, right? So what I want to do is basically continue that. For those of you that don't want to hear it, it's okay, you can just skip forward, but I hope and pray that you will listen to this because I believe it's a really great message. All right, and for those of you that do want to hear it, just buckle up your seatbelt because we're gonna get into the word right now, really quick. It won't take too long, too much of your time, you know. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so the verse is gonna be in Mark chapter 8, verse 36. Right, I'll flash it up over here as well. It says, "For what does it benefit someone to gain the whole world yet lose his life?" So this version is a CSB Bible. And I like to compare with other versions as well just to see what it says. But I really like how King James, it says, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" Especially for clothing brand owners and business owners in general. You know, essentially we like to hustle. We like to chase the bag. We like to do all these things, right? And what we're essentially doing is basically focusing on things that don't really matter. And why do I say this, right? The Bible says it very clear. It says, "What shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world?" Meaning if you're gaining all these cars, all these houses, whatever the case may be, all these materialistic possessions, if you gain all those things, what does it profit you if you lose your soul, right? Because above all things, your soul is far more important than the things of this world. Everything in this world is temporary. It will fade away. I like to think of this analogy. When I think of how short our time here is on earth, I like to think of the beach, right? The beach is very big, right? And within that beach, there's grains of sand, right? When you pick up that sand, when you look at it, you see how small that grain of sand is, right? And what that is and what that represents is basically our time here on this earth, right? But when you look at the bigger picture and look at the rest of the sand, that is eternity. So my main thing is this: don't chase the bag if it means forfeiting your soul, right? Because your soul is far more important than materialistic possessions, no matter what. Just a few things to think about. Thank you guys for listening. Let's go on to the video right now. When it comes to designing, there's actually lots of things that go into it, but it's not as complicated as people like to make it seem. Some people think you need all the expensive equipment like a PC, the best computer, or whatever the case may be. Some people like to think you need the expensive softwares, Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, all that. And some people like to think you need all the knowledge in the world to start designing. But the thing is, you don't need all of that. So you only need three things. You need inspiration, vision, and will. And what I mean by that is you gather inspiration from anything and everything that you come in contact with, that you see, anything in the world. For example, you could grab inspiration from movies, from books. For me, I feel like it's such a hack because, you know, my brand is a Christian brand, right? So I could just gather a whole bunch of inspiration from the Bible, all right? The Bible is literally the best cheat code that a Christian clothing brand can have because there's so many promises, there's so many sayings in the Bible that can be turned into a shirt, right? And when you gather that inspiration, you can then create a vision. You kind of envision what the product will look like. And after a vision is created from that inspiration, you then develop the will to bring it to life, meaning you educate yourself on learning how to design, how to create, how to use the software such as Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, or even Procreate. Man, I just want to let you guys know that you don't need a PC to create six-figure designs, right? Literally, the God is Good zip-ups that I designed was all created on an iPad. It was created on an iPad when I didn't have a PC, when I didn't have all the fancy softwares. I literally just created the design on Procreate simply because I had a vision and a will to do so. And it's so funny because the mock-up wasn't even that good. All I needed was a vision of how it would look like. I just needed to put it together and have that will and bring it to life. All right, so this is literally the mock-up that I made. So the tech pack that I used was basically from Siegs, and I just took like a little screenshot or whatever from TikTok and just put it on here, and then grabbed a basic font that I think would look really good as a distressed patching, right? Because at the time of this, I mean, still currently it's still popping. Literally all I had was an iPad and a Vision, and I came up with this, sent it to the manufacturer, and it generated me over 6 figures in a month. All right, so you don't need fancy equipment. All you need is inspiration, a vision, and a will to make these things happen. All right, so with that being said, once again, find inspiration from anything and everything that you come in contact with. You need to fuel your creativity, right? You could simply just brainstorm words or phrases, right? And with that word or phrase, a vision can be formed and brought to life. So with that being said, this shirt, which is gonna be dropping for spring, summer 24 this year, sometime in May, basically what it says on this shirt is, where there is no vision, people perish. So how this vision came to life was from a simple event. I was at church Sunday morning. Someone was preaching the word. In that word, the verse Proverbs 29:18 came on, and instantly something clicked in my mind that was like, that could be turned into a shirt. That would be so amazing. The message would be displayed clearly. It aligns with the brand identity. And because the design that I was envisioning was really clean and grungy and streetwear looking, it can literally grab people's attention and start a conversation and lead them to Christ. So after all those mental boxes were checked off, I decided to pursue the design and order a sample. And here it is. The vision is literally brought to life off of one inspiration that you get from everyday life. One thing that I could recommend for you guys to do is always keep a notepad on you, or use your phone, set up a notes document, and basically whenever you have inspiration pop up into your mind, so that you'll never forget, basically just write it all down. I literally have a list of design ideas that I would look back on whenever I need to come up with something new for the brand. So with this and constantly writing new ideas every day, you can essentially never run out of ideas, never run out of designs to come up with, right? Because the inspiration that you gathered from everyday life is always going to be on that one note. Good little tip for you guys to follow. Don't ever say you never learned nothing from me. Just want to stop real quick. If you guys made it this far in this video, please like, please subscribe, and please comment if you've learned something so far. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you guys haven't joined the school yet, where I have a community of like-minded individuals who are all trying to attain financial freedom. The community is for everybody, beginners, intermediate, advanced. You can ask whatever you like. Also, a lot of you guys know that I don't have a personal brand. So what I'm doing is basically starting a brand from scratch that will be scaled to 6 figures within a year. Just so you guys know that once you have that knowledge, it can easily be replicated over and over again without a personal brand. All right, so looking forward to seeing you guys in the community. Let's continue back onto the video. When it comes to designing, I always like to look back at Virgil. Rest in peace, Virgil. Amazing person. Basically, the 3% rule is this, that when you take an item, change 3% of it, it'll become a whole new item. A great example of when Virgil used that was when he dropped the 10 collab with Nike. So he took Nike silhouettes, changed 3% of the items, and that basically turned it into a new item. All right, and it doesn't just have to be with clothing. It can be with videos, it can be with music, it can be with books, whatever the case may be, right? You take a already existing item, change 3% of it, and it'll become a whole new piece of idea, a whole new design, whatever the case may be. And obviously there's a fine line of the 3% rule and just flat out copying exactly font for font, design for design, and graphic for graphic. You don't want to be copying, right? Because it shouldn't be fast fashion. When you do apply that 3% rule, make sure that when you apply it, you're actually making the item better, because you want to do the item justice, not make it worse or make the exact same design. The 3% rule can be applied in many ways, right? Add your own flavor, add your own artistic twist to it. Maybe you want to add another tag, maybe you want to add fraying to the pants, to the shirts, to the collar, whatever the case may be. Maybe you want to add some type of wash. You know, there's many different approaches that you can take into this, and that's why when you're designing, it's an art in a way where you can be creative in the way that you want to be. It's your brand, it's your designs, you can do whatever you want. The amazing thing about that is that when you create dope items, people will be buying it naturally. I should have started with this earlier, but when it comes to building a clothing brand, not just designing in general, I want to stress the importance of passion and authenticity. The reason why I say this is because customers can literally see and feel the motivation you have behind your brand. Are you releasing designs as a quick cash grab, or are you releasing designs because you actually find joy in it? Especially when you find joy in the process of creating a clothing brand, people will want to follow you along in that journey. And obviously sales isn't the main goal, but the more people that you have with you on that journey, the more that they'll be willing to support you. And the final thing I just want to touch upon is investing in yourself. And what I mean by that is investing your own time to graphic design, or even hire a mentor to just help you develop a vision. The reason being is because this small investment will actually go a long way and will actually further your brand more. And obviously when it comes to designing and when it comes to running a business, right, there needs to be a balance as well. Once your brand continues to grow more and more and scale to 6, 7, 8 figures, because you want to spend more time on the business than in the business. And I'm not saying that being in the business doesn't matter. Of course it does, but spending time on the business is what actually matters. When you spend time on the business, it allows you to help your business go further and just grow in general. Another thing that you can invest on as well is graphic designers. Having a team of graphic designers would be game changing. And the reason why I say that is because we're limited in our graphic designing skills. If you had a graphic designer that had 5 years of experience in graphic designing, and you who probably just started the brand last year, right, maybe like a year of experience, which one would you choose? Obviously the graphic designer that has 5 years of experience. The only time that I would hire out and go to a graphic designer on Fiverr or Instagram, whatever the case may be, the only time I would do that is if the designs that I'm trying to go for and accomplish isn't capable of being accomplished by me. So what I do is basically hire out freelancers that are graphic designers that can basically accomplish what I'm trying to do, right? Because I do have the vision, I could give them the layout, the format, and they could basically bring it to life. Because if I were to do that, I wouldn't be able to because of my lack of skill, but because I did reach out to someone who is professional, 5 years, 10 years, whatever the case may be, they're able to bring that to life for me, and we can both be satisfied, right? And people like to think that graphic designers charge a lot, and sometimes they do. And the thing is, that small investment that you're going to pay, maybe $200, $300, can literally generate you 6 figures in income off one design. We as clothing brand owners need to expand our mind a little bit more, right? We need to spend money to make money. Not only that, but we need to leverage all the resources that are out there, right? How can we further and grow our brand more? Just some things to think about. The video was a bit all over the place. I apologize for that, but I did hope that you guys picked up what I was putting down. Also, the designs that I was showing you guys earlier, the God is Good zip-ups. So the God is Good zip-ups will be restocking on May 10 at 3 p.m. PST on 2cstudioslv.com. All right, so make sure you're there because you don't want to miss out. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. Have a great rest of your guys' day.